Hey YouTube, this is Angel and I'm doing a book review video. And I just want to say in the front of this video that these books are just recommendations. They are not, I am not saying in any way, shape, or form these are end all be all of the particular topic or genre, so keep that in mind. The first book I'm going to show you is not necessarily a witchcraft or Wicca book, but definitely a helpful book for yourself. Spirituality and self-awareness. It's called The Four Agreements by Miquel Ruiz. Very helpful book, and what it does is it helps you identify things that hold you back, helps you release them. It's got a general code of conduct, how to be in the world but still be of yourself. Very, very good book. It's not a huge book either. It's small. It's not very many pages. Less than 200 pages. This book retails, for $12.95. Wow, $12.95. That's a tiny book. $12.95. I get a lot of books off halfpricebooks.com. I will put a link in the tool or down below so you can check it out if you don't know about Half Price Books. And I get a lot of my books from there, so you can get this one there, I'm sure. The next book I'm going to show you is the first book that I ever purchased that helped me find this path and follow it. It's called The Power of the Witch by Laurie Cabot. This book is really, really good if you want to get your feet wet. It was really helpful for me. It goes over the history of witchcraft. It goes over, I believe, some of the burning times. It goes over the witch trials. Talks about Sabbats, sacred circles, doing an altar, how to set one up. It goes over the Sabbats, rituals, that kind of thing. Now, Laurie Cabot, if y'all don't know, she is the official witch of Salem. She had two stores. One down by the harbor, which was the bigger store, and one that was on one of the main streets of Salem. A few months back, and I'm not sure exactly when, she closed down her big store down by the harbor and she sold her original store that I believe she opened in the 70s to another person, and it's under new management, under new ownership. I'm not sure if they still sell Laurie's items. I'm sure they do, since she is such a well-known witch and author. This book is a really good read. If you get a chance to read it, I highly recommend it. It retails for $12.95. Obviously, it's seen better days, but definitely a good book to have in your collection. The next book I'm recommending is one that a lot of people have recommended, and there's a reason, because it's awesome. And that is the complete book of Incense, Oils, and Brews by Cunningham. This book has a lot of information in it. It tells you about oils, how to set them up, how to create them, and the incense. It tells you about baths and all kinds of things, and it's got all kinds of incense and oils in here. Everything from astrological signs to goddesses to the elements, everything you can think of. It's a great book. Another one that I haven't been able to find where it's at, and I can't imagine where it would be because I used it all the time, but it's the Encyclopedia of Herbs. I highly recommend that one as well, and if I find it, I'll do another recommendation video for it. But like I said, this is a great book. The next book I recommend is The Witch's Datebook. Now, this book retails for $10.99, and it's really great because it's got everything in it from, it's got these little pages here where it has recipes, talks about the Sabbath. Some of it is just pictures, some talks about the full moon, some is about different crystals or gems. And what's cool about it too is it has these little icons on each side, and in the beginning of the book it'll tell you what those mean, but some of these mean it's a harvest kind of day, or it's a planting day. It'll tell you what sign we're in. It'll tell you what color you should wear. It also give you a little information, like, for instance, February the 18th, which is a Monday, it says President's Day is observed. It says Sun enters Pisces, and it also says Celtic Tree Month of Ash begins. So it's got little information in there, which is kind of cool. If you're somebody who lives by a date book like I do, and I'm old school, I like to write it down, I definitely recommend this. The next book I recommend is The Magical Household, Empowering Your Home with Love, Protection, Health, and Happiness by Scott Cunningham and David Harrington. This book retails for $9.95. Now, when I started on this path, I wanted to find a book that was not overwhelming, easy to read, and would help me to make my house a more magical place. This definitely is that. It gives you everything from what to put on your door, how to, what to do for your kitchen, your baths, your pets, your garden, all kinds of things. So I highly recommend this book. The next book I recommend is the Candle Magic Workbook. And this by Kayla and Ketz, and I'm not even going to say that last name. Retails for $12. When I first started on this path, I wanted to be more educated in candle magic, and I wanted something that was a workbook, so I found this. It's great because it actually has exercises in it. It gives you places that you can write things in. Now, I didn't write in this book, I'm sorry. I do write in some of my books, but I didn't write in this book. I wrote in a journal because I used it for other candle magic information, but you can definitely write in this. It's a great book. It's easy to read, very informative. It goes over the colors, the associations, fragrances ruled, how to dress a candle, rituals, all kinds of things. Definitely a good book. The next book I recommend is When God Was a Woman by Merlin Stone. It originally retailed for $8.95. And why I say originally is because I looked up this book on Amazon, and I believe I saw it on there for $50. I don't know if it's a limited print or what the deal is. I found this at a thrift store for $2.99, so definitely keep your eyes out there. It's a great, great book. This book kind of takes you from the transition from the goddess religion and how the goddesses and women were looked at, how they were looked at, and the transition into the Judeo-Christian religion and how women are looked at there. It's a very interesting, somewhat frustrating to me anyways, book, but very, very good, very informative. I highly recommend it. The next book I recommend, I absolutely love this book, and it's called True Magic, A Beginner's Guide by Amber Kay. This book is so informative, and it's funny, it's entertaining. I love that, because when you're reading for kind of academic, any of these books are sort of witchcraft and Wicca academic books. When you start hearing the same things and they get redundant, you kind of get bored. And if they're going to tell you the same things or go over some of the same things, at least they should do is make it humorous. And she definitely does. She makes it interesting. She goes over a lot of interesting information, and she looks at it from a different perspective than I've ever read before. Highly recommend this book. It also gives you exercises to do. One of the exercises I really liked was questions that you can answer on the different elements. I don't know if I can find it. On the different elements. And then it gives you I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. It gives you, from what you answer, it gives you an idea of what elements you're you're strong in and what you're weak in. So you can there it is. What you do is with your answers, it'll give you a number, and you just kind of count these little dots over, and it'll show you what element you're supposedly weakest at, so you can kind of familiarize yourself with it, learn it a little bit more, and balance yourself out a little bit. Like I said, highly recommend this book. Retails for $12.95. Great book. And let's see. The next book I recommend, I am at the tail end of reading, actually. I have never really in-depthly worked with chakras on myself. I've had people work with my chakras, and I really wanted to learn. So I purchased this book called Wheels of Life, A User's Guide to the Chakra System. I'm not going to try to pronounce this gal's first name, but I'll just show you. This book retails for $19.95. I did get it from Half Price Books, so I didn't pay that. And again, it gives you references at the end. It also gives you exercises, and it tells you, I mean, it goes over understanding your body, understanding how your chakras work, and all about your chakras. It's really, really informative. I really enjoyed this book. It was very helpful. And another book I highly recommend if you want to learn more about your chakras. Now this book is a book that a lot of people have, and I've seen it in tons of videos, and I'm kind of just putting my 2 cents in about it. It is called The Book of Shadows for a New Generation Solitary Witch by Silver Ravenwolf. Now, this book has a little bit of everything in it. Literally. Tools, Sabbats, rituals, astrological signs, wiccanings, how to set up an altar, herbs, crystals, animal, I mean, you name it, it's in here. I do want to say as a side note, it does also have references to some information that she has in here. And like websites and things like that. I have checked the websites, and some of them are no longer in existence, so just keep that in mind. Doesn't mean it wasn't there before, it's just not there now. But great book to have, definitely a great reference guide, and one that I go to a lot, so I highly recommend that. The last book I recommend is going to be a hard book to find. I saw this book about 15 years ago, and I did not purchase it. And the reason why I didn't purchase it is at that time I was 5 to 7 years into my practice, and I was not focusing on so much goddess as just absorbing the craft, learning, you know, rituals and herbs, and learning what spoke to me. I'm a Taurus. We move at the speed of rust. So it took me a long time to realize that I needed to educate myself a lot more about my goddess. My goddess is Isis. So this book is Isis Magick, Cultivating a Relationship with a Goddess of 10,000 Names. Now, this particular book is a limited print. It's 2001, I believe. Originally, its retail price was $29.95. I think I've seen it online for $200 to $400. Now, if you can find it for cheaper, obviously, I highly recommend that you get it. The story behind this particular book is I was visiting in Mississippi. I was back home visiting my fiance, went to the flea market, and he said, "Hey, your goddess is Isis, right? There's a book here called Isis Magick. It's $25. It's a little bit expensive, but do you want me to pick it up?" And I thought to myself, yeah. So he purchased it, I got it, and I've been reading it. Now, it is a heavy read. I mean, there's a lot of information in here. It goes over the story of Isis, it goes over the story of Osiris, and the history of the Egyptian gods and other goddesses that are similar to Isis. It also goes over walking through the house of Isis, which is basically the steps to becoming high priestess of Isis. Now, after the new year, I'm going to be starting my votary process of walking through the house of Isis, which is the first step. I will do videos on that process if everybody would like to see that. I will not go over the rituals. I will tell you what they are, but I'm not going to show them, obviously, because I'm not going to show rituals. And if anybody wants more in-depth information about this, please let me know. I'll be happy to go over it with you. Okay, well, that's it. That's my quick book review. I have tons and tons of books, but those are my go-tos, so I thought I would share them with you. Please let me know what you think, and until next time, please have a blessed day. Be good to each other, and bye!